Canada starts burning New Yorkers after going outside for 10 seconds. Why does this just remind me of the snap that Thanos did? But this is the reaction of all the cannibals on the earth. What a way to start a video. When New York gets covered in an orange haze and suddenly gets transported to Mexico. Guys, we have finally done it. Canada's invented portable Mexico. Syrup-land in our north has had a record wildfire season this year, but unfortunately with the changing winds, that has caused all of New York to look like this. The gaming company Blizzard couldn't be happier about Canada burning down. We need some more ad space to put a pic of Diablo 4 sign in the smoke in New York City. There's literally been no better gaming advertisement to date. You know what? Now that I think about it, maybe Blizzard had something to do with this whole thing. We need to check if there were any Blizzard employees doing any camping in Canada recently. The West Coast has wildfires and orange skies yearly, and nobody bats an eye. It happens once on the East Coast, and everybody loses their minds. Yeah, to be fair, this is just like half the year for us living in California. I feel like it's actually kind of weird when there's not at least 1 week of me just breathing in ash. New York just kind of in a bunch of smoke. Meanwhile, Canada literally on fire. And like, nobody cares. Gotta make sure the Big Apple's doing good though. Americans explaining to Brits how 30 degrees Celsius or 86 degrees Fahrenheit isn't hot while mostly living in detached houses built of wood, sitting in their air conditioning all day. Yeah, if you didn't know, houses are built a little bit differently depending on where you are in the world. Also, not every place has air conditioning. Some places, like in Europe, have to be prepared for extreme weather on both sides of the spectrum. Extremely hot or extremely cold, so the houses are built a little bit differently. If you're like living in a place with only one specific type of climate, it's gonna be easier to adapt to that. Teacher, 0 degrees Celsius equals 32 degrees Fahrenheit. Someone in class, so 0 degrees Celsius plus 0 degrees Celsius equals 64 degrees Fahrenheit. Who the f said that? Looks like we got someone a little too smart for school around here. I don't know what's gonna happen to this kid. Or you could also do 0 degrees Celsius plus 0 degrees Celsius equals this number just times 2. It's even crazier in Kelvin. Finland, fines are proportional to your income. Me and the boys, we're literally unemployed. That's right, you're about to give me a $0 ticket because as we just found out, 0 times 0 is still 0. I'm gonna be like the best criminal ever in Finland. This meme is referencing the Finnish businessman that was hit with a $121,000 speeding fine. I swear this happens every year in Finland, and yet still the millionaires don't learn. And the dude was 76 years old who was doing it all these years, and he's still out here saying this. Me, who can't speak English well, trying to speak thoroughly in an interview. Oh no. Oh no. Allow us to introduce ourselves. Accept or expect. Okay, I can see why these would be so confusing. Wait, which one are none of these Tom Cruise? I just now realized none of these are Tom Cruise. As a native English speaker, I barely even know the difference between these. Okay, I'm going to accept the job. I'll do it except I have this one thing. Expect me to be late every day. I think that's like the best explanation I can give. Linguists looking at Japanese and the years it takes to learn after learning the entire Korean alphabet in 45 minutes. Is for some reason Korean like 10 times easier to learn than Japanese? Or 100 times easier, I don't know. The Korean alphabet contains 24 basic letters, 14 consonants, and 10 vowels. And apparently this was even by design. They wanted to keep it as simple as possible. Easy to learn, easy to understand, because they wanted to make sure everyone in Korea could figure it out. It's funny because you would think every alphabet in the world would work like this, but no. I feel like English just kind of makes up a bunch of arbitrary rules that you have to use all the time. French MFers adding random letters to their words so that the pronunciation is as far from the lettering as humanly possible. You knew if we were going to talk about overly complicated languages, the French were going to come up. Yeah, let's just put like a bunch of random letters in this. For example, we have water, 3 letters, yet sounds like this. Ooh. Ooh. Why? Even better when it's waters. Ooh. It's still the same even with an X at the end. Ooh. Obviously, as an English speaker, I have no room to complain because like I said, English doesn't make any sense either. I just don't understand why languages are the way that they are. Yeah, so I thought about studying Polish. I mean, how hard could it be? The word play in Polish, and it looks like there's about 98 different versions of this word. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do I really want to count all this? It's actually 105, I think. Why? In Spanish and Portuguese, we have princesa. In Russian and Dutch, something somewhat similar. In Italian and Albanian, we can still make out princess. In Swedish and Czech, again, still princess. In Turkish and Latvian, then there's Finnish and German. Finally, there's Romanian and English. Yes, there's all princess. Meanwhile, in Poland, dang, I can't even pronounce this to make it funny.
Księżniczka.
Okay, that doesn't sound as bad as I thought it was gonna be.
Księżniczka.
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 This is just such an intimidating word. US football chants, they love me, versus European football chants, I'm gonna put some dirt in your eye. Definitely a very big difference between the chants of these two continents. There's no such thing as crossing the line in European football chants. Honestly, I'm not even sure I'm allowed to show some of these chants because they're just so bad. Average stadium for football in a Texas high school versus average stadium for soccer in the new Premier League. Okay, what is going on here? Because this is a pretty sad stadium. I mean, to be fair, I think this is the biggest high school stadium maybe in the entire US, but still, like I said, it is literally high school. Oh, it was literally built in 1905 and it has a capacity of 10,000 people. I guess that kind of explains it. It does have kind of a homey atmosphere though. It's like watching your kids play or something. Everyone on the East Coast trying to sleep right now. See, we only saw photos of the daytime, but this is probably what was happening in New York during the nighttime. Again, as a Californian, you get used to it. Golfers leveling kilometers of land so they can play the most boring sport in existence. Not only leveling the land, but also using like 2 billion gallons of water a day to keep up with the grass maintenance. That's like the most important part, I guess. When you waste dozens of square kilometers of valuable land and millions of gallons of fresh water every year just so a bunch of rich people can play the most boring sport ever invented. Isn't like 25% of the entire island of Bermuda just made up of golf courses? It's probably a couple islands with pretty high percentages like that. Bermuda has 8 golf courses in total, the highest concentration of courses in the world for a country of its size. Oh, it's actually not 25%, it's 7%, but that's still a lot for an entire country. Maybe like if the entirety of Texas was just one massive golf course, which might actually be kind of an interesting idea. Texas is third with the most golf courses, but number 1, unsurprisingly, is Florida. Meanwhile, the Pharaoh's curse. This just reminded me of the first meme that we talked about. Again, when Thanos snapped and the 12-person family that lived above you just instantly disintegrated. Yeah, just don't open up tombs inside of Egypt. Just got out of a generational defining global pandemic. Russia invades Ukraine. China definitely invading Taiwan in a year now. Progress in AI is exploding. Unemployment is about to go through the roof. Full-on ecological collapse as more and more climate change tipping points are reached. Is this the best season of human civilization? Find out next week in another exciting episode of, I honestly don't know what to call it. Just the dog sitting in the fire saying, "This is fine." New York, we get all the smoke from the wildfires. This is horrifying. Meanwhile, Canada, yeah, this is what I mean. I love that there were so many memes made around just New York. Like, no one cared about what was actually going on in Canada. I guess that's what happens when air quality just drops for a majority of the states. You'll never understand my pain, says New York with bad air quality. Meanwhile, hee hee, sorry. Oh, this is like the perfect representation of Canada, because they're just saying sorry. That is their most popular word, isn't it? Hey guys, I speak Chinese. I was taught it at a very young ni hao. Bing chilling. I'm gonna also add Zhang Zina in there too. I don't even think that's a Chinese word, but that's probably what I would say. I think those are the only 3 things I know about the Chinese language. POV, you're Ukraine and you're living under the Soviet Union in the early 20th century. Your food is now for the state. I'm pretty sure that is exactly like to a T what they said. Turns out Ukraine is still mad about that. Who would have thought? Guitar people, when you have a $70 Chinese guitar. Violinists, when yours isn't at least a $7,000 Italian bargain piece. Piano players, when your piano is less than the price of a car. Finally, ukulele players seeing a $20 ukulele. Oh, this has to be added to my collection. And this one's pretty expensive too. I've got one for $5. In terms of the musical instrument world, it is definitely best to just jump into ukuleles. Pretty sure I also got my ukulele for like 10 bucks. And it's still in tune after all this time. We are invading Earth. We need lasers. Yeah, lots of them. Okay, but can we not land in America? When will we have one movie where the aliens randomly land in Russian Siberia. I mean, the chances are pretty likely. Russia is by far the biggest country on Earth. I guess it's also kind of likely that they randomly land somewhere in the middle of Africa. What if they just did like no pre-research at all? They just decided to drop in on our little random marble spinning in space. Super likely they land randomly in the ocean and just say, wow, there's nothing here, let's go. So this is how Canada plans to defeat us. It all makes sense now. They're using a smoke screen attack. Get ready for their high damage move coming up next. They're gonna use like hyper beam or something, I think, more than likely. Smoke screen was always like the first move I got rid of in Pokemon. What is even the point? I know there's a point, but I just don't care. Oh my goodness, YouTube is so annoying. 2 unskippable 15-second ads? Meanwhile, Twitch playing 4 unskippable 30-second ads every 10 minutes. I've known this for like so long. It's weird that this is now just coming up. Twitch is like really egregious with their ads. It's almost unwatchable for me. I'm not really a Twitch watcher, but when I do, that part is the worst part. Hydraulic press was invented in 1795. Meanwhile, people before 1795. Definitely a lot more entertaining, I gotta admit. I mean, hydraulic press videos have always been entertaining, but it definitely was just a little bit different and a lot better, I think, back in the day. Where did we go wrong? Nobody! Oil companies during June. It's that season again. Be prepared. I can literally taste the rainbow. POV, your American friend calls football soccer in the UK. I don't even know what to say most of the time in my videos. Occasionally I'll say football, occasionally I'll say soccer. I'll say football/soccer, but you need to know something like this will happen if you're in the UK and you call it soccer. Be prepared to run. Me watching a space documentary from 2017 that says humans will have bases on Mars by 2020. Yeah, this stuff just really hurts. I'm just hoping that they're lying to us. They do have bases. They just are gonna reveal them a little bit later. Don't get my hopes up. Here we go. Average day in Ohio. Let's finally zoom in and figure out what actually happens in this state. Which one is this Columbus, Ohio, or St. Joseph's? No, we're not zooming in there. Ohio? Ohio, you good in there? It's a random parking lot? No, it's... Oh. Okay. Actually, no, this actually makes a whole lot of sense. I finally get it now. And big thanks to the patrons. I am the kidnapper. I oofed Drew since no one paid his ransom. This channel's now run by AI.
Montenegro,
Australia is real.
I'm
Argentinian. $20 is a lot. Asher,
$200,
Normal,
Chester,
Archaeology, Traven, A Nargin,
Inquisitor,
Isaiah, John Denver,
KirinoIsBestGirl,
the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth,
Twickenhamster,
why am I doing this?